like it sounds good in principle
Hmm.
until like it sounded good to me until I got to the point where I was like, okay, my LLC doesn't make any money. So how am I going to qualify for how is my LLC going to qualify for a mortgage? And what sort of interest rate am I going to is my LLC going to be able to get?
I'll tell you one of the things that I'm doing right now with my, because I don't have five businesses. Well, I have 5 lines of effort, right, that I'm converting into their own separate businesses. I have one LLC, and I'm working everything else under that one LLC umbrella for the moment. Even though I've kind of like deviated them out a little bit in branding purposes, for now, is is that I am working on actually building a system to build the business, to build a business. Like it doesn't have to matter what the business is. It's just these are the steps that you take every single time to build out, to make sure that it's legally structured right, to make sure your accounts are set up right, make sure it's properly insured, make sure you have legal representation. It's called bail, right? Like your basics are squared away, but then also make sure that you're using these systems separately for your sales. This is your sales CRM module thing, and then here's your marketing, right? For the thing that you're trying to do. Like here is the way you kind of like bloom out from a seed, right? Your business idea.
Mhm.
And like, and it's about what you know too, right? But for business acumen purposes. I made the mistake for the last 4 years not paying myself. Right. So last year was my best year yet. And I made 12K last year. And I think it might be 10K, not 12K. I think I pushed the wrong button. Let's say it's 10 to 12K. Right, over the year. And that was me fighting. That's me growing, I should say, from the year before, because last year the IRS almost called me a hobbyist.
Hmm.
Right? They were like, you're not really making enough money to call this a business, are you? And if you don't, there's like 9 rules that if you don't hit the majority of these, and they're all subjective, you really don't have a business, right? You actually have a hobby. If you have a hobby, you're taxed differently, aka your expenses aren't the same expenses that you can take as a business owner that you can as a hobbyist. Like your
They're not
hobbyist, you take
deductible in the
less.
same way.
Yeah, it's a lot less. And so like that's important, right? As you're kind of going through the whole process. And so I really upped my game last year to get me at least outside of that realm. Um, but but I didn't pay myself. Like I didn't use any of that money. So this year, first thing I did was I I created 3 accounts for the one business. And so when you're ready, this is the game is operating account, tax account, payroll account.
Hmm.
Right now on payroll, I'm getting paid. I got paid $500 so far for my business this year. 30.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That's huge, right? Because I've not had that. 30% goes into tax of every dollar, and the rest of it, 50% goes into, so 20%, 30%, 50%. And then I use 50% of the money to go back into the business, right? To pay bills and do all that stuff. Now, if you do that with every one of your businesses, and if you treat every property as its own LLC, which you should, right? Like you create an LLC for just that property. Now it's legally liable. Now, like the legal protection around that is set up, and then you buy insurance just for that house, right? Because you're going to want flood insurance and renters, jack it up insurance and all that type of stuff, right? For your house itself. That's all inside the one LLC. So you
Mhm.
just, and then the EIN you get for that LLC is now the EIN for that one bank account where that money flows into, type of thing. And then, right, then you can have a separate tax account based on that. And you know exactly where the
So
dollars go.
one of the challenges that I ran into when I was looking at creating an LLC to own the homes was that the LLC has to qualify for the mortgage. The LLC has to be the signatory on the mortgage for the home. So if you own the home in your name, but you
Mm-hmm.
want the LLC to own the home, that is a different mortgage. And you have to, like, your LLC has to be able to afford that mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So like it sounds good in principle
Mm-hmm.
until like it sounded good to me until I got to the point where I was like, okay, my LLC doesn't make any money. So how am I going to qualify for how is my LLC going to qualify for a mortgage? And what sort of interest rate am I going to is my LLC going to be able to get? They're like, yeah, it's probably best if you just keep it in your own name. Yeah, I guess
Hmm.
like
That's more
because
education, right? That's
your
all that is.
LLC has to
Yeah.
be credit worthy.
But you
If
don't
your
get credit.
LLC,
But your LLC doesn't get credit for 2 years.
yeah. So once you make enough money, once your LLC makes enough money,
Mm-hmm.
then you can become an LLC, sort of, or then you can nest these assets within your LLC.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not until you have that income that I don't know. It was
It sounds like a
it was
chicken and egg problem.
yeah.